Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the campus of Volunteer State Community College, where the Pioneers will be taking on the number one team in National Junior College, the Walters State Senators. This will be the 32nd game of the year for the Pioneers and the 36th game of the year for Walters State. This is game one of the three-game conference series. Here, beginning at the beginning of April, this is Tim Reese, and I am joined by Samuel Park, who is here running our board and the switcher, and he's going to do his own scorebook today. Samuel, how you doing?
Doing good. Actually have something that resembles something that could be a makeshift scorebook instead of just a random piece of paper found in the parking lot somewhere, like last time.
Looks like a sketchbook to me, but we'll see if it works for you.
Hey, I got plenty of room for names.
There you go.
Both teams can make as many substitutions as they want. They can start getting fans from the crowd to play if they need to. We got room.
Well, we will have as we have a new sponsor, the Jersey Mike's Sub Shop that's right across the street, where I actually had a regular sub sandwich today right before the broadcast. They have donated and supported to Vol State baseball, and we will have, and when we have that sub, that first substitute, that will be the Jersey Mike's sub, first sub of the game. So trying to add in a little marketing here to Pioneers baseball. It is a windy afternoon after a big storm that came through here last night. And you see out there in center field the green windscreen that is the batter's eye had to be taken completely down today, and several of our new signs that were just put out on the outfield fence on the left side did not make it completely through the morning. We do have hit after hit, and it's GTSF. That is the company that put the dirt out on the infield that you see assistant coach John Ripel is dragging right now. But see the U.S. flag that's at half-mast for the tragedy that occurred at the Covenant School here in Nashville is whipping from the normal left center to the right field line. And supposedly the wind is supposed to die down just a bit, but I think we're going to be in for adventure today, Samuel.
It's going to be, I'm guessing we're going to be windy for at least the first 3 innings or so.
So we have a 9-inning ball game today and 2 7-inning contests tomorrow beginning at noon. We are scheduled to begin at 3 p.m., but it does not look like that's going to happen, as I have 2:56 Central. Have not seen the umpire show up yet, and Chase Birdwell must be waiting on something to finish the lines. There he goes. Well, who's going to do that next year, I wonder? Alex Qualls, Tyler Holsworth. Who's going to do the lining of the field? Birdwell's been doing it for a couple of years now, hasn't he? Our press box gang is complete now with Tyler Holsworth back from illness and Samuel Park being added to. But the PA voice of the Pioneers, Alex Qualls, is in his spot. It's been a little while since we've had a home game. Been away for the Calhoun game last Tuesday and the Dyersburg State Series. And here the umpires are showing up. So let's go ahead and get to the Toyota of Gallatin starting lineups. First for the team ranked number one in the country, Walters State Senators, leading off playing center field, Caleb Marmo. Batting second, playing shortstop, Curtis Reed. Cole McCallum is the DH. He'll bat third. Corbin Shaw batting cleanup will play first base. Daniel Ortiz, the third baseman, batting fifth. Cruz Newman in right field, batting sixth. And the 7-hole hitter is Jarrett Martin, who will be behind the plate. Batting eighth, playing left field, Keaton Ray. Batting ninth, playing second base, Cooper Torres. And on the mound for Walters State, a redshirt sophomore right-hander for his ninth start of the year, Landon Crumley. Landon Crumley from Knoxville, Tennessee, Grace Christian Academy, 6'4", 200-pound redshirt sophomore. As you see, head coach Jim McGuire and Dave Shelton talking to our umpires. I know at least one of them is Chris Judkins. Don't know if I know the other umpire, but here's the Toyota of Gallatin starting lineup for your Pioneers. Leading off playing shortstop, Logan Molnar. Batting second, playing center field, Jake Burris. At first base, Landon Gotze will hit third. Jace Mizell in right field batting cleanup. Ethan Huddleston batting fifth, playing second base. Carter Vrabel at third base, batting sixth. Tanner Bumbelow, fresh off his first collegiate hit, that was a 3-run homer at Cumberland, is batting seventh and will DH. Braden Vineyard behind the plate, batting eighth. Big Jay Charlout in left field will bat ninth, and on the mound for the Pioneers, Cade McKee. Cade McKee on for his, I think it's his seventh start. Get to that. No, I'm sorry, his ninth start and ninth appearance. He has a 1-3 record, 35 innings pitched, 29 strikeouts, comes in with a 5.09 ERA for the Pioneers, who have the number one team ERA in the conference at 3.70. Walter State comes in second in team ERA at 4.67. Cade McKee is the son of Jim McKee and Sherry Beth Mollenix, a 5'11", 195-pound redshirt sophomore from Georgetown, Kentucky, Scott County High School, and the brother to Clay and Colby. Clay, the new father here in the last month or so. So congratulations to him and his wife. We are about set to get started. Team's still loosening up, and Chase Birdwell still lining the fields. Samuel, I don't know if you've checked any stats at all.
I'm trying to do that, but for some reason the website keeps giving me the 03-04 season for Vol State. I do not know why.
Well, I'm sure that was a very good season for Vol State then as well. I'm sorry, you talking about Walter State?
No, for Vol State.
Vol State, yeah, I can't tell you about that. But a year ago, Walter State got to the World Series, the National Junior College World Series, as the number one seed, and won all the games until they got to the semifinal. Ended up losing to a team out of Kansas named Cowley. Ended up losing 16-8 after taking like an 8-2 lead or something in that game, and that put them in a losers bracket game with Central Arizona. They ended up losing that game as well, so they had a 2-game losing streak at Grand Junction. At the end, Central Arizona ended up beating Cali for the national championship a year ago. They ended up with a 61-7 record. They currently are 31-4 and have won, I believe it's 7 games in a row, and they've won 14 out of their last 15. And they have a number of players on their roster that are in the national rankings for hitters. Danielle Ortiz, who is number one in the conference with a .598 on-base percentage, is number 4 in the country in on-base percentage. He's number 1 in the conference in slugging percentage, and that puts him at 15th in the country. Caleb Marmo is number 1 in the conference with 32 walks. That puts him tied for 6th in the national rankings. He is also number 1 in the conference in runs scored with 51, and that is good for a tie for 4th place in the national rankings as well. Pitching is also fairly stout, at least for the top 2 pitchers, Landon Crumley and Jackson Hull, at least top 2 in terms of innings pitched and starts. They both have started 8 games, and Landon Crumley is number 1 in the conference with 7 wins. Jackson Hull tied for 3rd with 6 wins. So Crumley comes in for his 9th start of the season, 7-0, 35 innings pitched, 31 hits, 29 runs, 24 earned runs. Has walked 18 batters, struck out 30. Not a huge strikeout guy, but 6.11 ERA. He will start the 9-inning ball game here for Walter State. Thanks to Toyota of Gallatin for the brand new scoreboard that has taken the wind that's coming out of that left center field area. So coming out of the north, will be blowing across the field left to right. Game Time Sports Fields, GTSF, is what the one of the two remaining signs out there. I believe that's one of Bill Marbott's companies. And then hit after hit, Lynn Pilkington has donated to the Pioneers as well, and his sign remains. Framework Athletics out there has stayed up. And the new signs, one for Full Count Ministries, then Line to Line, another of Bill Marbott's companies. Dudat Communications has the busy sign out there, and Summit Concrete, owned by Chuck Akers, the last sign out on the right center field wall. And we are about ready for baseball. As the Pioneers take the field, we will have the national anthem, so we'll turn down the volume so we don't get kicked off of Vol State. We'll be right back on the Vol State Sports Network. And Alex Qualls says, play ball.
Tim, while the national anthem was going on, I was letting the stats page load, and I was looking at home runs in conference, and Ball State's got a heck of a challenge there. They are going to be facing the top 3 home run hitters in the conference in one day. That being, let me get to where I've written down Walter State on the roster, with Daniel Ortiz leading the conference in home runs, and then Curtis Reed right behind him in second, and Cooper Torres in third. They're all separated by 1. Ortiz with 10 and Reed and Torres with 9. So gonna be a good challenge for them today.
They have 7 batters in their lineup that have more home runs than the top home run hitter, Jace Mizell for the Pioneers. They've got a catcher who's hit 4 home runs in his last 14 plate appearances, I think, or maybe it's 6 home runs. No, 4 home runs and a double in his last 12 at-bats. Jarrett Martin, who is coming on strong, a redshirt freshman. They've got, and Martin's hit 8 home runs, and he's only had 43 official at-bats. He's got 15 hits, and 8 of them are home runs. So he's his slugging percentage is over 1, which is a large margin. If he had enough at-bats, he'd be leading National Junior College. A stout hitting club, no doubt, but we'll see what Country Cade McKee can do to the top hitting club in the Tennessee Community College Athletic Association here today. And we are about set to go on the Vol State Sports Network. Thanks for joining us on YouTube and Twitter. First pitch by McKee in there for a called strike, and we are underway at 3 degrees. All right, you got to click into the box, and now you're set to go. Count now, no balls, 2 strikes to Marmo. Marmo played a year ago, got in 39 games. He hits a base hit into right field to start the ball game off for Walters State. The 0-2 pitch caught a little bit too much of the plate. Cade McKee will face right-handed hitting Curtis Reed, shortstop from Cincinnati, Ohio, or just outside of Cincinnati, Hamilton, Ohio. He is a redshirt freshman transfer from Louisville. McKee with his 4th straight strike in there. Reed hitting .360, 9 home runs, 35 RBIs. He will lay down a bunt. Vrabel comes in and gloves, throws, but Landon Godsey cannot dig it out of the dirt. And I think that will, we're not the official scorers, but I'm going to give that a base hit. Tough play for Vrabel. Wonder how many bunt hits that Reed has had. So a tough way to start. 2 guys on, nobody out here in the top of the 1st inning. Cole McCallum steps in, the DH. McCallum hitting .409. He swings and fouls one down the third base line. On deck, Corbin Shaw, the first baseman. McCallum, 8 home runs, 36 RBIs. Fouls that one off down to the right side by the maintenance shed. An MGM Industries foul ball.
Landed on the roof and bounced off it.
No balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. Just getting started here in the top of the 1st inning. Single by Caleb Marmo into right field. And a bunt single by Curtis Reed. Fastball high and away. McKee made sure not to lay that 0-2 pitch in there for McCallum. McCallum from Medina, Tennessee. Played in 46 games a year ago, hit .309, hitting 100 points higher now. And there's a ground ball, could be 2. Molnar to second, on to first base, and that'll be just what the doctor ordered. A do-dat double play, 6-4-3. A pitcher's best friend there. Not sure if Reed went in hard to second base, but Huddleston looked like he was getting out of there quickly. So 2 outs and a runner at third base. Corbin Shaw, his 2nd year in that first base slot, and he will reach out and hit a single to center field to drive in the first run of the game for the Senators. 3rd hit of the inning. Drives in Marmo, and that ground ball double play looming large now. Daniel Ortiz steps to the box. Number 5 hitter for Walters State, playing third base.
I'm calling this now. They're going to work the edges on the mound, and we're going to end up with a, oh, never mind.
Slow roller to Molnar, and makes the grab on that hop that came up a little bit. Throws over to Godsey to get Ortiz, who's swinging on the first pitch just like Shaw did. A 6-3 put out.
He got put out at first. I was going to make the prediction that we would end up with a full count before he would think to swing at something on the outside there. But it looked like he was heading towards the bottom corner near him on the left side and couldn't get enough bat on it to send it.
Pioneers coming to the plate. You're listening to the Vol State Sports Network. Welcome back to Vol State. Tim Reese and Samuel Park at the Tim Garrett Baseball Complex as the Pioneers will come to the plate in the bottom of the first inning, trailing 1-0. Logan Molnar, Jake Burris, Landon Godsey due up for the Pioneers to face Landon Crumley. First pitch is high and/or inside for ball one. Crumley from Grace Christian Academy in Knoxville, Tennessee, a redshirt sophomore, 6'4", 200. Starts off Molnar with a 2-0 count. Logan Molnar from Independence High School south of Nashville, Thompson Station. A true freshman and the only true freshman that gets the start for head coach Jim McGuire. Molnar, the son of Joe and Barbara Molnar. And he will take one in the middle of the number one on his back. And that is hit by pitch number 6 of the year for Logan Molnar. He's now tied for second place with Carter Vrabel. Tough way to get on base. But he's got 6 bruises now.
Number 14
brings Jake Burris to the plate. One of the statistics that they don't show for pitchers is how many hit by pitches that they've thrown. Burris sees a breaking pitch on the inside corner called strike. Jake Burris, the pride of Grove City. Sherry and Dave are probably listening in along with the McDaniels as Chris Judkins says timeout. Crumley was starting to get into a stretch before Jake Burris was even looking at the mound. Another off-speed pitch stays high. Looked like maybe a slider. Wearing his Grove City versus all y'all shirt that Miss Sherry Burris gifted to me when she was down a few weeks ago, swinging a foul ball. MGM Industries foul ball off to the right side, probably onto the road. The wind blowing from left to right. That's, you get something up in the air, it is going to go left to right.
Wind took that thing. I didn't even see where it landed.
1 ball, 2 strikes to the Pioneers center fielder. Swing and a miss on a slider away. There's the first out. Landon Godsey steps in, hitting .373. 15th in the conference. tied for 7th with the most hits, 38, which leads the squad. Tied for 6th in doubles with 9. He sees, I haven't seen anything straight yet. Everything's been off speed that I've seen. Maybe something that's a little bit sharper braking or not too slow. There it was again. What if he's throwing some kind of a split finger or cutter or something, but they're all moving left to right or right to left.
It does look like a cutter to me.
1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, 1 on in the bottom of the first inning. There's a ground ball. That could be 2. Reed over to Torres on to first base, not in time. Logan Molnar is forced at second base for out number 2. Ball hit a little bit too slowly to turn. Keaton Ray out in left field. Caleb Marmo in center field. Cruz Newman in right. Daniel Ortiz at third. Curtis Reed at short. Cooper Torres at second. Corbin Shaw at first base. And Jarrett Martin is catching Landon Crumley. Jace Mizell steps to the plate. That's a ball in the dirt. Martin doesn't see it. It skips over to the on-deck circle where Ethan Huddleston casually walked away, but a wild pitch will send Landon Godsey down to second base. Jace Mizell now with an opportunity with a single to tie this ball game up here in the bottom of the first inning. Coach McGuire told the players, we want to stay out of the big innings. Another ball in the dirt. Martin keeps this one in front of him. Jace Mizell from Metropolis, Illinois, redshirt sophomore, hitting .321. Leads the team with RBIs, 28, and home runs with 6. Looking now at a 3-0 pitch. Pioneers looking for their first hit. Apparently, there was it couldn't have been a balk. Must have been a time issue. Is either that or they just intentionally walked Jace Mizell one way or the other. That will be walk number 1, and with 2 outs, Ethan Huddleston steps to the plate. Fastball, that one was straight. It went high, about chin high for Huddleston from right here in Gallatin, Tennessee. Ethan Huddleston in a bit of a slump. Leads the team with runs scored 27. There's a nice breaking pitch over for a called strike.
I mean, what a better time you could have a slump whenever, you got the best team in the conference coming into your home.
It'd be a big win. There's a swing and a miss on another breaking pitch that looked like he took just a little bit more off of that one, and I wonder if this one's going to be even slower. But you definitely don't want to go up there looking to pull this pitch. This pitch needs to go to right field, and that's exactly where he went. Just didn't hit it far enough over to the right. Torres gloves and throws to Shaw to retire Huddleston and the Pioneers. No runs, no hits, no errors. 2 runners left on base. We're through 1 inning. Walter State leads 1-0. You're listening to the Vol State Sports Network on YouTube and Twitter. Moving to the top of the second inning, Walters State will send Cruz Newman, Jarrett Martin, and Keaton Ray 6, 7, and 8 here in the top of the second inning. Windy day today, and
Somebody just
pitch.
lost their hat in front of us.
I was going to say, that lady, that was a hat that came off, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a hat.
First pitch strike by Caden McKee. Ground ball to Huddleston. Gets a short hop at, gloves it and throws to Godsey at first base. 1 up, 1 down. Cruz Newman, a transfer from Tennessee, a sophomore. Played 49 games for Walters State a year ago. And now Jarrett Martin, a redshirt freshman from Savannah, Tennessee, 6'3", 215 pounds. McKee misses with the first pitch to the catcher, Jarrett Martin. Wonder if he was injured. This is his 22nd game of the year. They've played 3 or 4 catchers this year, and I know one of them is hurt, but Martin seems to be emerging. He's hitting .349, 8 home runs, 22 RBIs. Able to hold up on that pitch that goes outside. As I said earlier, he's hit 4 home runs and a double, 5 hits in his last 12 official at-bats, and that drove in 11 runs. Now ahead in the count, 3 balls and 1 strike. On deck, Keaton Ray, the left fielder. Would think you want to keep the ball inside as McKee throws one outside. Fouled off, an MGM Industries foul ball. On the other side of our newly remodeled press box with these brand new MGM custom-made windows.
And this gives us a full count Ministries full count, Tim.
There you go. You're learning. Swung
Learning
on and driven
slowly
to
but
deep
surely.
center field, but the wind pushing it over to right center field. Jake Burris will play the wind and haul that one in for the second out. So no on the full count first pitch foul ball. But yes to out number 2.
Impressive by Burris there, because I can't keep track of the ball in the air without my sunglasses half the time. He's got them on for him.
Keaton Ray, left-handed hitting left fielder in their first pitch called strike. Redshirt freshman from Evansville, Tennessee, Ray County High School. Transfer from Virginia Tech up in Blacksburg, Virginia. Now down in the count, no balls, 2 strikes. 6'1", 210 pounds, hitting .357. 4 home runs and 28 RBIs. 0-2 pitch, sails high. 26th game of the year for Keaton Ray. 25 hits, 8 doubles, 4 home runs, so almost half of his hits are extra bases. Braden Vineyard keeps that 2-strike pitch in front of him just in case Keaton Ray takes a hack at it, but count goes 2 balls and 2 strikes. Senators scored 1 run in the top of the first inning, and McKee gets a swing and a miss for a 1-2-3 inning here in the top of the second. His first strikeout, and Keaton Ray goes down. Pioneers will come to the plate trying to tie or take the lead here on the Vol State Sports Network. Tim Reese and Samuel Park back at the park at the Tim Garrett Baseball Complex, Pioneer Field, where the tarp was on last night, but when Coach McGuire got here this morning, the part over shortstop had blown off or blown out from underneath whatever was holding it down and got a little bit wet, but the wind has been helpful to dry out the infield. As Carter Vrabel fouls that breaking pitch straight back, and the count goes 1-1 Vrabel, a redshirt sophomore, has 100 official at-bats for the year. 23 hits. That's good for a .230 batting average, and that breaking pitch catches the inside corner. Vrabel, 3 home runs, 18 RBIs. Looks at a fastball high. The 2-2 swung on and driven deep to left field, but Keaton Ray will get to the track, and the ball will drop. He did not catch it. I don't even think he got a glove on it.
It looks like it tipped from what it looked like to me, it looked like he tipped it with his glove and it bounced out once he hit the fence.
Well, if we're going to give a hit on that bunt, we're going to give a hit on that. That'll be a double for Vrabel in my book, because that ball would have been out of the park without that wind.
Mm-hmm.
But he kept going and going and going. I didn't see him touch it, but I'm kind of on the corner. That may have been one of those iffies, and maybe I'm homering here a little bit too much, but a leadoff double brings to the plate Tanner Bumbleow, redshirt freshman from Overton High School, one of 2 Overton High School players on the Pioneer squad, along with Caleb Pika. Swings and misses at the first pitch. That pitched in the dirt. Jarrett Martin able to get a hand on it, keep Vrabel, who is an excellent base runner, at second base. Tanner Bumbleow played in his first game against Cumberland University Junior Varsity in Game 2 of the doubleheader last Tuesday. Was retired in his first 2 plate appearances, but that third one got up with 2 men on. He hit a 3-run bomb. He gets a base hit in the left field here. Coach McGuire will hold up Vrabel at third base, and there will be runners at the corners here to lead off the bottom of the second inning. Solid base hit by Tanner Bumbleow. He's now 2 for 4 on the season. Been injured all last fall, and so far in the spring, he's a two-way player. Possibly scheduled to be the #1 pitcher for the Pioneers after signing and after Coach McGuire got to see him, but not been able to get out on the mound as of yet. And as I said, Tuesday was his first time at the plate. Braden Vineyard steps to the plate with runners at the corners. Need a sponsor for our runners at the corners. Line to line. That would be perfect. Just now thinking about it. I mean, you're line to line. You know, you can't be any more line to line than first and third, can you? Line to line provided the padding and the screens in front of the bullpens and the dugouts. 2 balls, no strikes to Vineyard. There's a pitch right down the can for strike 1. Braden Vineyard, a sophomore from Paducah, Kentucky, hitting .269. Leads the squad with 19 walks. On-base average of .443. Is second among the starters. That ball's lifted out to right field. That should get a run in. Cruz Newman over to make the catch. He'll throw to the cutoff man, but Carter Vrabel comes in on the sacrifice fly. RBI by Braden Vineyard, and this game's tied at 1. Tanner Bumbleow stays at first base with 1 out. It brings to the plate Big J Sharla from Riverdale High School. Big J, the son of Jake and DeLynn Sharla. I'm sure DeLynn is probably here at the ballpark, and he will get hit by a pitch. So second hit batter, he will hobble on down to first base. That is Charlo's 4th bruise of the year. Runners now at first and second, the top of the order. Logan Molnar steps in, and he was hit by a pitch in the first inning. Ultimately was forced out at second base on a ground ball by Landon Godsey. 1 run in as Coach Ripel, John Ripel, down at first base, checks on Jay Charlotte, makes sure he's okay. Pioneers got something cooking here with 1 out. Fastball stays up. Pioneers finally were caught stealing the other day.
Oh, man.
I believe that was in a first and third situation is how that happened. Basically got caught on purpose just so a run could score. Molnar now 2 balls, no strikes. I believe that was Jake Burris. It was. He was at first base. May have been Molnar that was at third. There's a ground ball. That could be 2. Second to short and on to first base. So Torres to Reed to Shaw in a 4 to 6 to 3 double play. Retires Molnar and retires the Pioneers to score 1 run on unofficially 2 hits. No errors, 1 runner left on base. After 2 innings scheduled for 9, we're all tied up at 1. You're listening to the Vol State Sports Network. Pioneers have tied the game here after 2 innings on a sacrifice fly by Braden Vineyard. Walter State scored 1 in the top of the first. Vol State scores 1 in the top of the second inning. We are moving to the third. And the 9-hitter Cooper Torres steps to the plate from Woodstock, Georgia. Swings at the first pitch he sees from Cade McKee. Fouls that off to the right, and MGM Industries foul ball. Stay tuned after the game for the Right Rug Flooring player of the game and the Full Count Ministries verse of the game. Just missed with that pitch. It's been called a strike a lot of times this year. Maybe not by Chris Judkins, who's behind the plate today. Swing and a miss on pretty much the same pitch. Cooper Torres, a sophomore, hitting .386, 11th in the conference. Tied for second with 9 home runs, hitting out of that number 9 spot, and he will go down looking. Back-to-back strikeouts for Cade McKee. He ended the second with a strikeout of Keaton Ray and begins the third with a backwards K. Caleb Marmo will step to the plate. He singled to right in the first inning on an 0-2 pitch. Marmo came in hitting .371. Looks at strike 1. Leading the conference in runs scored with 51. Tied for third with 10 doubles. 7 home runs, 23 RBIs. Ground ball foul down the right field line. And it's not like Walter State has a small field out there. I don't know the dimensions off the top of my head right now, but we were there last year, and I don't remember it being a Cracker Jack box. So
They're not trying to be like the Yankees and just have a really small field so they hit all the home runs.
or Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati, which some people call that a bandbox. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Marmo. Curtis Reed on deck. Marmo hitting from the left side, and a slow changeup maybe swung on and missed. Cade McKee has now retired the last 6 batters in a row after giving up 3 hits. One may be controversial by this young man right here, Curtis Reed. Laid down a nice bunt down the third base line that Carter Vrabel was able to come up with, but his throw on the run was in the dirt, unable to be handled by Landon Godsey. Okay, broadcaster error. Not putting your phone on silent as your wife texts.
Strike 2 right there.
The entire infield started walking off that pitch. Cade McKee will ask the home plate umpire where it was, and he points to his left, says that's inside. Swing and a miss. McKee strikes out the side. And the second 1-2-3 inning for country Cade McKee. We go to the bottom of the third. All tied up 1-1. You're listening to the Vol State Sports Network. Jake Burris leading off the bottom of the third inning for Vol State, facing Landon Crumley, who gets a first pitch strike. He was on deck when Logan Molnar grounded into a force. We'll check down with the base umpire. He says he did not go. 1 ball, 1 strike to the pride of Grove City. Jake Burris, third-year player for Vol State. I figured up the other day he had played just over 100 games. This count goes 2 balls and a strike. Swing and a miss. He struck out in the first. Played 76 games in 2 years of 2021 and 2022. Now a full count Ministries, full count. Now played in 106 games. This is game number 107 for Jake Burris with Vol State. Grounds one up the middle, and that will be gloved by Reed, who throws wide of first base. And that will be another infield single for Jake Burris. You cannot assume that Curtis Reed is going to make a diving catch right there and then come up and make a good throw. So in my unofficial capacity as an official scorer, we get to the conference tournament, I might actually be the official scorer. as I will be broadcasting all the games, but infield single brings Landon Godsey to the plate. He hits one this one will sneak through the infield. A clean single, putting runners at first and second. Pioneers threatening again here in the third inning, as they did in the second, getting the first two batters on. 4 hits now for the Pioneers. Big Jace Mizell will step to the plate. Been a big-time player for the Pioneers for now the second year. 6'1", 220-pound redshirt sophomore. He grounds one to third. That will get off the glove of Ortiz. Jake Burris will get into third base. That will be an error. We go E5 on that one, and that will load the bases. A tough hop right there, no question, for Ortiz, but he was right in front of it. He did get a glove on it. It hopped straight up in the air. Probably his only play would have been try to locate it and tag Burris out. There's a ground ball. That could be 2. Reed over to Torres, but he has trouble getting it out of his glove. So Ethan Huddleston will get an RBI on the fielder's choice. The Pioneers will take a 2-1 lead. Landon Godsey moves over to third base. Mizell out on the force. So 2 hits, an error, and a ground out have produced the go-ahead run. Carter Vrabel steps to the plate. He hit a deep fly ball to left field that the wind held up. Otherwise, that would have been out of here, no question. But Keaton Ray just kept going farther and farther toward the line, thinking the ball, I guess, was going to come back, but it ended up landing on the warning track. Vrabel ahead in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. If you're just joining us, beautiful sunny day, but very, very windy, which is affecting the flight of the baseball. Might also affect eyesight with the wind catching the dirt, especially for first baseman, catcher. That wind is coming from left field over to the right field line. 3 balls, no strikes to Pioneers third baseman, and he will get a 4-pitch walk. Second time he's been on base. Second walk for Landon Crumbly. Loads the bases for Tanner Bumbleau, who hit a opposite field single. Was stranded at second base in the second inning. Tanner wearing number 22. Waving that big orange bat around. He takes a big hut. Must have fouled it off at the plate. It is a favorable wind if you are a left-handed batter and you pull the ball. Saw some balls go out of here in batting practice by left-handed hitters. He takes another big hack at a pitch outside. That's the side of the plate I'd be pitching on. Keaton Ray playing very shallow in left field with the wind blowing in from there. No balls, 2 strikes. Just gets a piece of that one. Oh, 2 pitch. Bumbleau able to hold up. Does not offer that fastball away. Head coach Dave Shelton's recruiting coordinator and coach is Mike Korn, former head coach of Columbia State. Pitching coach Sean Robinson. Bumbleau not able to get a piece of that one. And he strikes out for out number 2. Second strikeout for Crumbly, and now it'll be up to Braden Vineyard to get a 2-out knock. Unless Crumbly wants to help the Pioneer cause by throwing a ball in the dirt. Walter State also has assistant coach Rob Collison. Fastball to Vineyard in there for a called strike. Braden Vineyard, a sacrifice fly out to right field, drove in Carter Vrabel in the second. And they also have a student assistant coach, Bracken Rice, who was on the squad a year ago. I think he was actually on the squad this fall, but I'm not sure if he was injured or what happened. But he has now moved from a player on the roster to a student assistant coach. 1-1 pitch misses inside. Godsey at third. There's a ball driven down the right field line. That'll go foul. Count will move to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Huddleston is at second and Vrabel is at first base, or they will be soon when they return to their respective bases. The left-hander already up in the Walters State bullpen. 2-2 pitch, 2 outs, bases are loaded. Drive out to right field. That sends Cruz Newman back, but he will make the over-the-shoulder catch for out number 3. Could have been a bigger inning, but Landon Crumbly comes back to retire Bumbalo and Vineyard for the last 2 outs. 1 run on 2 hits. There was 1 error. 3 runners left on base. After 3, we're 1/3 of the way through the ball game. Pioneers lead 2-1. You're listening to the Vol State Sports Network. Tim Reese and Samuel Park back at the campus of Volunteer State Community College. Samuel Park, one of the students here in the broadcasting department. What is that department they call it, Samuel?
I think it's just communications.
Okay, communications department. And he is joining us here. I guess this is third.
This would be my third game.
Third games, right? Mm-hmm. Reagan Smith over at the softball complex. Not sure that he's broadcasting, but he's over there hopefully running the board. Senators send up 3, 4, and 5 here to face Cade McKee, who has struck out the last 4 Senators he has faced and retired the last 7 that he's faced. Got Cole McCallum to ground into a do-dat double play in the first. Swing and a miss. McCallum looking to turn around one of those. Are those diamond baseballs we use over there, Tyler Holsworth or Alex Qualls? What do we use? Diamond baseballs. Used to have a sign. Is that a sign? Yeah, there is still a sign down there by the bullpen. Fouls that one off. An MGM Industries foul ball, thanks to Joe Gaskins and his son-in-law, or one of his son-in-laws, Patrick Stewart, who were gracious to come in and take the old windows out of the press box and put in these custom windows so we can see out of without opening this window up. I tried to open it up to have a crowd mic today, but the wind blew every bit of paper that we have sitting on our nice Dan Zettel installed countertops, and so we had to forego the crowd mic. Popped up into center field. Jake Burris will maybe give way to Chase Mizell, and he does. That ball started in dead center field and then ended up just a hair to center field in right field. So
I just want to know what sunglasses he's using to be able to see that, because I can't even see looking up in the sky with my pet vipers sometimes. I got to see what he's using. That is goodness.
I don't know that it's as much the sun that he's having the issue with as the movement of the ball. Corbin Shaw steps in. He had a RBI single in the first inning. Swings at the first pitch. Hits that one to right. That'll probably land in the bullpen. And it will. It started out right at Jace Mizell, but it was sliced into the Summit Concrete bullpen. Chuck Akers, owner of Summit Concrete out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee, is reconstructed, maybe is the better word, put in some concrete and build up the bullpen area. No balls, one strike. They'll go to 1 ball and a strike. Corbin Shaw, first baseman for Walter State from Conyers, Georgia, the Redan High School. And I believe that's Stone Mountain as he swings over the top of a off-speed pitch there. Played in 65 games a year ago, hit .308, 9 home runs, 52 RBIs for the club that went 61-7 and finished in 3rd place at the Grand Junction, Colorado World Series, National Junior College World Series back last June. McKee keeping him off the balance here today. Drive out to right center field again. Jace Mizell will get over, but Jake Burris says, I've got this one, Jace. That ball was hit pretty well, too. 2 up, 2 down here in the top of the 4th inning. Senators are in first place with a 10-2 record in the TCCAA. Had a loss to Motlow State as Daniel Ortiz, or Deniel, D-E-N-I-E-L, Ortiz. We lose something, or we just...
No, I didn't reset the count.
Okay.
It's trying to take us to...
Swing and a miss. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. We still in the top of the 4th?
Yep, I got it all back.
There we go. 0-2 pitch. Does not offer at that one. Ortiz grounded out to short to end the 1st inning. Ortiz also from the Redan School. Hometown is Lynn, Massachusetts. That will be the 3rd fly ball to that right center field gap. Jake Burris will catch 2 of them. And another 1-2-3 inning for Cade McKee. He has got 10 retired in a row. Pioneers lead 2-1. We're going to the bottom of the 4th. You're listening to the Vol State Sports Network. Tim Reese and Samuel Park for the Vol State Sports Network. We move to the bottom of the 4th inning. Big Jay Sharla will lead it off. 9-1-2 scheduled for the Pioneers. Jay Sharla taps one to the first baseman, but he'll catch it in foul territory. Sharla hit by a pitch. and was forced out at second base on a ground ball double play by Logan Molnar that ended the second inning. Pioneers with one in the second, one in the third to take a 2-1 lead. That ball in the dirt. Hops over both catcher Jarrett Martin and home plate umpire Chris Judkins. Doubleheader tomorrow beginning at noon. These same two teams, that ball's popped up in the infield. A jam shot off of Charla's bat that Curtis Reed will handle without a problem. Logan Molnar hit by a pitch and grounded into a double play. Molnar was 2 for 7 in the doubleheader against the Cumberland JV squad on Tuesday, and he lines one out to center field. Playing in is Caleb Marmo, makes a sliding catch, but is not out as home plate umpire Chris Judkins has the safe sign. So a trap out there. It'll be a single for Logan Molnar. Marmo definitely came up as though he caught it, and now head coach Dave Shelton out of the dugout to talk to the home plate umpire. Dave Shelton has been at Walters State since 2003. Prior to that, he was an assistant coach at East Tennessee State University for 5 years. From Irwin, Tennessee, played at Milligan College. First 10 years, he was the recruiting coordinator as the umpires get together and discuss that play and say, no, it was a trap. Fifth hit of the game for the Pioneers. First for Logan Molnar, Jake Burris, who had an infield single up the middle. His last at-bat looks at a breaking pitch for a called strike. Head coach Jim McGuire flashes the signs down at third base. Assistant coach John Ripel down at first base. Braden Kale is the pitching coach in his first year. Runner goes, started to go, and then he stopped. Jake Burris swings and fouls that one off to the on-deck circle. Coach McGuire in his second year with Vol State, former head coach at MTSU, and for 6 years prior to that, assistant coach for 20 years at MTSU. Swing and a miss. Burris down on strikes for the second time. 3 strikeouts now by Landon Crumbly. 2 outs with a runner at first base. Landon Gotze steps to the plate. He's 1 for 2. I believe Suzanne is here in attendance. His mother, Paul, may be coming down tomorrow. Throw over to first base. Molnar back. Pioneers 51 out of 52 in stolen base attempts. Molnar is 5 of 5. Swinging a foul back. These Senators had 3 pitchers from a last year's squad that were drafted. Fastball right at the letters for a called strike. I believe it was Cole Drake and Wesley Scott. Swing and a miss, and down goes Gotze. Try to get to that story a little bit later on as I'll get the name. I believe it was Gio Rivera. So no runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 runner left on base. We're through 4, scheduled for 9. 2-1 Vol State leads. You're listening to the Vol State Sports Network. Leading off the top of the fifth for Walter State, Cruz Newman, who grounded out to second base in his first AB. Cade McKee back out there for inning number 5. Ground ball to Gotze, who bobbles but collects and steps on first base for the out. 1 pitch, 1 out. 3 unassisted. That's now 11 straight retired by Cade McKee since the end of the first inning. Fastball just missed to the catcher Jarrett Martin, who flew out to Jake Burris in center field. Count goes 2 balls and no strikes. Grounded to third. Vrabel has it. Strong throw over to Gotze. 2 up, 2 down in the 5th. Keaton Ray, the left fielder, steps to the plate. He struck out to start a string of 4 straight strikeouts by McKee. Swings at a first pitch. Fouls it down the first base line. I believe that is Mike Korn down there, the first base coach. Dave Shelton, head coach, down at third base. Keaton Ray hits a ground ball. It takes a bad hop, comes up and catches Huddleston. Looks like maybe in the face. I thought it was going to get him in the chest, but he grabbed his face right away. Now it gives the thumbs up. Maybe it got him in the neck as he walks away. I'm not sure if all-conference trainer Justin McKinney is here, but that was a tough hop. Two out. Base runner for the Senators brings up Cooper Torres, who struck out looking in the 3rd inning. Fastball misses inside. I'm not sure if that hit a cleat mark or something, but everything looked good for the first 2 hops, and that 3rd hop came up, and you're not expecting that one to. Takes pretty amazing handwork to bring a glove from the ground up to your neck. Okay, McKee just needs to make sure that does not rattle him, and he just comes and gets the number 9 hitter, Cooper Torres. Slash down over the fence down the third baseline. Torres, 5'10", 175-pound sophomore. Transfer from Butler Community College in Kansas, where he played 55 games a year ago, hit .291, 14 home runs and 55 RBIs, or 54 RBIs. A great year, but then transfers to Walter State this year. Guess getting a little bit closer to home as he's from Woodstock, Georgia. Count now to Torres is 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Pops one up, it will get out of play. Haven't had too many full counts here today, but you know, we had a Framework Athletics first run of the game, and I didn't mention that. I did mention the first run of the game. I just didn't mention that it was brought to you by Framework Athletics. And you know what we got now.
We have a full count, Ministries, full count.
Ball State alumni Jacob Oldham and Josh Carmen, two of the 3 U.S. full-time employees. Here's a throw over to first base. Josh Carmen is director of baseball operations, also assistant coach with Trevecca Nazarene University, the future home of Jace Mizell. And Jacob Oldham is the executive director of Full Count Ministries. Go to fullcountministries.com to learn more about it. A swing and a miss. And down goes Torres on the slow breaking pitch. That is the 5th strikeout by Cade McKee. And he gets the Senators on 4 batters this inning. No runs, no hits, 1 error, 1 runner left on base. We're through 4.5 innings, a complete ball game in case the rains come. Not expecting that here on the Ball State Sports Network. Tim Reese Samuel Park at the Tim Garrett Baseball Complex, where the Pioneers will send 4, 5, and 6 to the plate to face Landon Crumbley. Crumbley, Crumbley, in his 2nd year with Walter State. There's a line drive right off his glove. In comes Torres, but he will not be able to make the bare-handed play. That ball was headed straight for center field on a line drive. But Crumbley able to get a glove on it, but it's still an infield single for Jace Mizell, who's now 1 for 2 with a single and a walk. It's the 4th inning of 5 innings. The Pioneers have the leadoff batter at the plate. Huddleston starts to lay one down with Ortiz playing in, but pulls the bat back. See if he's bunting for a hit or a sacrifice. He lays off that pitch. Looked pretty good. Not sure where that missed. Home plate umpire Judkins was just asked where it was, and he said yes, it was outside. 1-1. Misses low and outside. Still activity in the bullpen for Walter State. It's a left-hander. The pitch swung on and missed. Huddleston 0 for 2, a ground out and a fielder's choice. Hits one high out the left field, but Keaton Ray has this one measured and under it and makes the catch for out number 1. Walter State has a pitcher on their squad named Ty Cobb. I remember him from last year, but I thought he was a left-hander, but it shows he's a right-hander. Looks like a left-hander with a 1-digit number. Carter Vrabel will pop one up, and that looks like it will get out of play. The wind blows that one out. Vrabel 1 for 1, doubled and scored in the 2nd, walked in the 3rd inning. Strong young man could turn this wind around a bit in left field. Looks like it's died down maybe a little bit here at Pioneer Field. Tapper that will hop just into the Pioneers dugout. Temperature supposed to decline here in the afternoon. Started at 3:08, just went over the 1 hour mark. Nice backhand pick by Martin on that ball in the dirt to keep Mizell at first base. Don't expect Jace to be stealing with Vrabel at the plate. Mizell is 6 for 6. There's a ground ball. Ortiz keeps the glove down, fires to second onto first base for a 5-4-3 double play. And that will retire the Pioneers in the 5th. No runs, no hits. I'm sorry, no runs, 1 hit. No errors, nobody left on base. We're through 5. Pioneers lead 2-1. You're listening to the Vol State Sports Network. Pioneers with the lead against the #1 team in National Junior College, Walter State, who comes in with a 31-4 overall record. Caleb Marmo now with an 8-game hitting streak after singling in the first inning. Steps in, he's 1 for 2. Marmo from Johnson City, Tennessee, Science Hill High School. Transfer from Wake Forest, swings and misses at the first pitch he sees. From Country, Cade McKee from Georgetown, Kentucky. Changeup misses down low. Marmo singled in the first. On deck batter Curtis Reed had a bunt single. That's a deep drive. If it's fair, it's probably gone. And it will go foul. Well struck. Marmo giving a bid for his 8th home run to tie teammates Jarrett Martin, Cruz Newman, and Cole McCallum with 8 long balls. He and Corbin Shaw with 7. Team leader and conference leader Daniel Ortiz has 10. 2-2 or 1-1 pitch is grounded up the middle. Huddleston backhands, throws to first, but not in time to get Marmo, who will reach on the infield single. Been a number of infield singles by both teams. One by Curtis Reed, who bunted, drag bunt in the first inning. He and Marmo were on, but Cole McCallum grounded into a 6-4-3 double play. But a 2-out base hit by Corbin Shaw got Walter State on the board. Pioneers tied it up in the second, took the lead in the third, and we're at 2-1. He will bunt again. McKee off the mound, turns, throws in the dirt, picked out by Landon Godsey. Cade McKee gives him the pointed finger and says, good job. So a sacrifice bunt by Curtis Reed. gets Marmo to second base. So with one out, Marmo in scoring position for Cole McCallum, who's 0 for 2. Grounded into a double play and flew out. Swings and fouls that one straight back. McCallum leading the squad with 45 hits and 13 doubles. Hitting .409, which is not even tops on his own team, but it's good enough for 9th in the conference. It's a good hitting baseball team. Grounded foul past the nonplussed third base coach, Dave Shelton. Not close enough for him to even make a play, though. McCallum down in the count, no balls, 2 strikes. McKee with 5 strikeouts, looking for number 6 right here. Got to be something off speed, I would expect. Grounded to third. Vrabel able to look back the runner and throw on to first base. That's just as good as a strikeout. A 5-3 for out number 2. And that will bring Corbin Shaw to the plate. He has the only RBI for Walter State. Now has 46, which leads the conference. Tied for 19 in the country in RBIs. Hitting .402, slugging .745. And is 1 for 2 here in this ball game. First pitch just misses. Shaw gave that one a look. Couple looks back at second. Breaking pitch swung on and missed. Cade McKee came in with the most number of innings pitched for the Pioneers, 35 1/3, which is just 2 outs more than Eli Klotfelter. Changeup misses low. There is a base open, but the leading hitter in the conference is standing on deck, Daniel Ortiz. Not sure you want to walk Shaw to get to Ortiz. But you don't want to give him a cookie either. 2 balls and a strike, 2 outs. There's a high chopper to short, but Carter Vrabel will barehand and throw to first base. Landon Godsey keeps his size 12s on the pillow for out number 3. What a play on both ends. Barehand play.
Just Carter flying over from third base, man on a mission. Says, I got this. Watch this. Throws it barehanded on the run. Goodness.
What a play. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 runner left on base. We're through 5.5. Pioneers lead 2-1. You're listening to the Vol State Sports Network. Moving to the bottom of the 6th inning, Vol State will send up 7, 8, and 9 to face a new left-handed pitcher, Blake Cooper, redshirt sophomore left-hander. He has 8 appearances. This will be appearance number 9. 7 in relief. As a 2-1 record, 15 innings, only giving up 8 hits, 3 runs, and only 1 was earned. 4 walks, 18 strikeouts. This young man from Maryville, Tennessee, Heritage High School, has had a great start to the season as we are halfway through. This will be a lefty-on-lefty matchup. Blake Cooper will face Tanner Bumbleau, who is one of 2 left-handed hitters in the Pioneer lineup. Bumbleau 1 for 2. The first time that he comes to the plate without runners on. Nearly gets hit with that first offering from Cooper. Fastball in the outside corner. In that river on that white chalk line in the right-handed batter's box and home plate. Just when you get too far out there, breaking pitch swung on and driven down to the bullpen. That is completely empty now. There's about a dozen people down there last half inning, and now it is completely empty. As though somebody opened up some Limburger cheese or something. Bumbleau looks at that offering. Now 2 balls and 2 strikes, where for the number 22, Tanner Bumbleau. Ground ball to short. Reed stays down and throws over to Shaw for out number 1. Landon Crumbly goes 5 innings, gives up 6 hits, 2 runs, 1 was earned, walked 2, struck out 4, hit 2 batters, and is on the hook for the loss if
that is what ends up being.
Well, if the Senators do not tie the game, then he would be on the hook for the loss. Braden Vineyard fouls the first pitch he sees off to the screen. It'll be, I would assume that Cooper's in for more than just this inning, or we'd be seeing more activity down in the bullpen. But the first 3 batters, 2 of these first 3 batters are left-handed. I wondered if Coach Shelton was just going to go match up lefty-lefty here with the bottom of the order. But it appears as though Cooper will stay in the ball game. Misses with that breaking pitch. They have 9 pitchers with 8 or more appearances. There's a ground ball again off of the pitcher. Torres up and throws to first base, and they will retire Braden Vineyard on the extremely delayed and dramatic call by the base umpire. That one looked like it hit Cooper off of the left hip. Not sure if Vineyard got a good jump out of the batter's box or not, but Torres came in and made a very nice play to retire Vineyard. So 2 up, 2 down, and Big Jay Charla steps to the plate. 0 for 1 with a hit by pitch. On deck, Logan Monar, the leadoff batter. Pitch is popped up and will go way out of play, probably over the pine trees into the parking lot that is between the Tim Garrett Baseball Complex and Pickle Fieldhouse, where the Richard Moore Gymnasium is located, along with the locker room for the Pioneers baseball and Lady Pioneers softball. Jay Charla almost looked like he got hit in the hands on that pitch. 2 balls and 1 strike on the scoreboard there, Sir Tyler Holsworth. Now you can put it at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Charla came out of Riverdale High School and went to Brett Carroll Academy for a year, a gap year, before coming to Vol State last year. Got 3 plate appearances a year ago. One was a sacrifice fly. One was a home run. As he takes a home run cut there, it comes up empty. And the other was a walk. 1-2-3 inning for Blake Cooper, who's on in relief of Landon Crumley. We're 2/3 of the way through this one. Pioneers lead 2-1. You're listening to the Vol State Sports Network. Tim Reese and Samuel Park back at Vol State, where the Pioneers have a 2-1 lead over the #1 team in all the land, Walters State. Across the campus, the number 14 Lady Pioneers taking on the number 4 Walters State Lady Senators. I don't have a score at all, but probably a pretty good ball game. 5, 6, and 7 due up here for the Senators to face starter Cade McKee. Off-speed pitch misses down low. Daniel Ortiz, true freshman, 6'2", 230-pound, hometown Lynn, Massachusetts. Played high school ball at least a year at Reed Ann High School. There's look like another changeup that catches the zone. Count goes 1 ball, 1 strike. Wind still blowing from left center to the right field fair line or foul line. More pleasing for left-handed hitters who want to pull, or right-handed hitters who want to go oppo. Nice little wrinkle on that change up. Count goes 2 balls and 2 strikes as Ortiz 0 for 2 with a ground out and a fly out. Swing and a miss. Down goes Ortiz. 6th strikeout of the contest for Cade McKee. Cruz Newman, the right fielder, 0 for 2, batting from that left side. From Richmond, Kentucky, Logan County High School. A sophomore, transfer from the University of Tennessee. That pitch missed somewhere. I have no idea where. Cade McKee's not really sure either. 2 balls, no strikes. On deck, catcher Jarrett Martin. There's a pitch, catches the outside corner. Looked like about the same place. And Newman shakes his head like, if you didn't call the other one, why are you calling that one? Swing and a miss. Actually, apparently caught a piece of it. The umpire says he fouled it into Braden Vineyard's mitt. 336 hitter coming into today's game. Well, the full count Ministries, full count. Had 1 swing on a full count so far. It was a fly out to center field. And a walk to Newman with 1 out, now 1 on. That is the first walk of the game for Cade McKee. Giving up 4 hits, 3 in the first inning. Jarrett Martin comes to the plate. He's 0 for 2 with a fly out and a ground out. Hitting from the right side. Swing and a miss at a changeup. McKee getting quite a few swings and misses on that changeup. Got the new outfield signs from our supporters. A couple of them, about 3 of them, have blown down with the wind. There's one high and deep to left, but it will go foul. Martin way out in front of that one. Count goes no balls and 2 strikes. Jay Sharla playing regular depth in left field. Jake Burris maybe a shade deep in center. Just missed on the inside part of the plate there. Conversation between Martin now and home plate umpire. I'm not sure exactly what it was. Maybe, hey, I don't want you stepping out of the box completely. We're going to stay in the box unless you foul it off. 1 ball, 2 strikes. McKee 2 looks at first. Misses inside. Right where you want to stay is inside. If he hits it, goes into the teeth of the wind in left field. It's the first time I've looked out there in that U.S. flag, not stiff from left to right. It's kind of laying down. He gets a swing and a miss on another off-speed pitch. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Cade McKee, 7 for the ball game. 2 outs now. Well, a pinch hitter for Keaton Ray. Pedro Pache. P-A-C-H-E. Pache. True freshman from Dorado, Puerto Rico, from El Shaddai Christian Academy. 6'2", 225 pounds. He will be pinch hitting for Keaton Ray. Pache up there with 2 outs and a runner on first base. Looks at a first pitch right down the can. Only his 16th official plate appearance in the 2023 season. He's 4 for 15, has 1 home run with 8 RBIs. Swing and a miss and a throw down to first base, not in time to get the runner. So Pache now down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. We're in the top of the 7th inning, scheduled for 9 innings here in game 1 of the conference opener. There's a pitch on the outside corner that's called a ball, much to the surprise of Ethan Huddleston and Logan Molnar and Jake Burris, who seemingly were halfway in the dugout. The 1-2 grounded up the middle. Molnar should be able to snag this one. He will, and throw on to first base to retire Pache for the 3rd out. And Cade McKee is pitching lights out here today. Probably the best collegiate appearance of his life. As no runs, no hits, no errors, 1 runner left on base. Going to the bottom of the 7th. Pioneers looking for some insurance runs. You're listening to the Vol State Sports Network. New left fielder will be the former shortstop Curtis Reed, who moves a little farther out away from pitcher. And a new shortstop is Angus Pence. Number 11, a redshirt freshman from Knoxville, Tennessee, Farragut High School. Another transfer from the University of Tennessee, Blake Cooper, still on the mound. He will face 1, 2, and 3. The Pioneers lineup: Logan Molnar, Jake Burris, and Landon Godsey. Molnar taps one into the Pioneers dugout. He is 1 for 2. Been on base twice with a hit by pitch and an infield single. Cade McKee, 7 innings of 1 run, 4 hit baseball against the number 1 team in the country. Pioneers 2 runs, 6 hits, 1 error. Senators 1 run, 4 hit, and 1 error. Blake Cooper, the second pitcher for the Senators, on in relief of Landon Crumley. Had a 1-2-3 inning in the 6th. Has just walked Logan Molnar to start the 7th inning. Jake Burris, my guess, he'll be asked to lay down a sac bunt. I think he's got 5 of those on the year. See if he goes down to third baseline or the first baseline. I think I'd be going first base side. There's the square around, and he does go down to first base side to make the pitcher Cooper, who will underhand to Shaw at first base. And there's the 6th sacrifice hit of the year for Jake Burris, and that puts Logan Molnar on at second. So each team now with a sacrifice bunt. And each team with a grounded into a double play. Landon Godsey steps to the plate with 1 out and 1 on in scoring position. So Angus Pence comes on in the 8th hole position in the batting order. They play shortstop. He will come on for Pedro Pache, who pinch hit for Keaton Ray in the top of the inning. Landon Godsey 1 for 3. Play back to second base, but Molnar back in time. Torres sneaking over there. I think Molnar's first collegiate steal was a surprise, going from second to third base. I don't think he'll be called on to steal third. Now with Godsey and Mizell coming to the plate, 2 top hitters for the Pioneers. 3-0 count to Godsey. On the outside corner, 3 balls and a strike. On deck, Jace Mizell. Two RBIs on the day, Braden Vineyard and Ethan Huddleston. There's a high fly ball that sends Marmo back. Tagging will be Molnar. Marmo makes the catch. Molnar will get into third base. Standing Ortiz, who was standing in his way, just about got trucked. I don't know what Ortiz was thinking, but the throw was right on the bag by Marmo, but I think he was trying to dig Molnar, who did not come in sliding. Maybe Ortiz was thinking he was going to get down, but Molnar ran right into Ortiz, and the ball got by, but Cooper was backing up the play. With a runner at third base, Jace Mizell steps to the plate. Breaking pitch misses inside. So now with Molnar taking that extra 90 feet, wild pitch or a pass ball or a balk will score him in an error in the infield or an infield single. Several more ways. And here's a tapper up the middle. Angus Pence will throw to first to retire Mizell. Pioneers with a leadoff walk could not push him across. After 7, Pioneers still lead 2-1. You're listening to the Vol State Sports Network. Heading to the top of the 8th inning, Pioneers lead 2-1. Senators send 9, 1, and 2 to the plate. Cooper Torres, who struck out in his 2 plate appearances, will lead off against Country Cade McKee, redshirt sophomore from Georgetown, Kentucky. Into the 8th inning here. A year ago, Cade McKee had 9 appearances, all in relief, through 9 innings. An inning per appearance. Swing and a miss. Pitch out of the zone there by Torres. Maybe a little bit antsy. Trying to get that leadoff batter on base. It's the second baseman. There's a off-speed pitch. Look like another. I'm assuming that's a changeup because it's not curving. Just enough off of that to throw these hitters off balance. Cade hoping to get a call there, but not able to. McKee got into the 7th inning against Wren Lake back on February 23rd. But this is his longest appearance in terms of innings pitched after he got that last out in the 7th inning. Now 7 full innings pitched. Gone 5 innings, 4 2/3, 4 1/3, 6 2/3, 4, 5, 3, and 2 2/3. His shortest outing was against Dyersburg in a 5-1 loss. There's a ground ball, diving attempt by Logan Molnar, but not able to come up with that. Even if he had caught it, wouldn't have had any chance to get Torres at first base. So a leadoff single brings leadoff batter Caleb Marmo to the plate. He's 2 for 3. And out of the dugout will come head coach Jim McGuire, and he has already made the call to the bullpen. Not sure how many pitches Cade McKee has, but I'm confident that is weighing into it. We'll have a Summit Concrete call to the bullpen, and we'll tell you about the new pitcher after we return on the Vol State Sports Network on YouTube and Twitter. Summit Concrete call to the bullpen for the Pioneers. Landon Tucker on in relief of fellow full count 242 member Cade McKee. Landon Tucker is on for his 9th appearance, all in relief, has an 0-1 record, 7 2/3 innings, giving up 5 hits, 5 runs, only 3 earned, walked 7, struck out 6 batters, a 3.52 ERA. Landon Tucker, 5'9", 165-pound sophomore from LaGrange, Georgia, a criminal justice major. Will graduate in May, the son of Hank and Christy Tucker and brother to Dylan and Tinley. Hello to Nana in LaGrange and Pawpaw and Gigi also in LaGrange. As Landon Tucker will come on and look to throw up a 0 here in the top of the 8th. Cade McKee goes out after 7+ innings, 5 hits, 1 run, and the runner on first base is his responsibility. 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. Tuck will have a tough draw right here, one of the top hitters in the conference, and he'll deliver a sidearm fastball in the outside corner for a called strike. And he will want to live on that outside corner. I assume Braden Kale, the pitching coach, said nothing inside to this strong young man, Caleb Marmo. Throw over to first base. Torres back in time. Marmo only 23 RBIs, and he will try to lay down a bunt. A last-second bunt. Carter Vrabel was already playing in. Marmo misses that one. Mizell playing deep in right field. Jay Charla, regular depth, another throw over to first base to keep Torres close. I don't think Landon Tucker has a pickoff this year. I think all the pickoffs, maybe Noah Eatman, a right-hander's got one, but all the other ones are from left-handers. There's another base hit into right field by Marmo. Torres rounds second base. The throw into third base, not in time. And Walter State threatening here with the first 2 runners on base. Nobody out, runners at the corners. Curtis Reed steps to the plate. Now the left fielder. Started at shortstop. He is 1 for 2 with a sacrifice bunt. And we could see another bunt attempt here for a base hit that would also be considered either a sac bunt or a suicide squeeze. Instead, there's a fly ball out to right field. This will tie the game. Jace Mizell moves over to the line. Throw to home, and the ball is dropped. Braden Vineyard, the attempted tag. He now comes up. Time is called as Vineyard drops his glove on the play. Marmo tried to move on over to third base, but I think if Vineyard hold on to that ball,
Yeah, he would have gotten him out.
You think home plate umpire was going to ring him up?
He would have.
But a sac fly by Curtis Reed, and there is the all-world trainer, Justin McKinney, out to check on Braden Vineyard. May have bent his hand back, is what I'm guessing happened. So Marmo moves to second on what would have to be considered an error on Vineyard, I guess, for not hanging onto the ball. The throw was right on the dime by Jace Mizell. Now, Landon Tucker will throw practice or warm-up pitch to Braden Vineyard to see if it's too painful to continue, but so Cade McKee's day is over. He will end up with 2 runs given up, 2 earned on 5 hits, and he will get a no decision. This game is now of record to Landon Tucker. one out, a runner in scoring position. Cole McCallum steps to the plate, the designated hitter. He's 0 for 3. Both teams now. There's a ground ball into left field. Jay Sharla up, and he throws over the head of the cutoff man. Throw down to second base is not handled by Ethan Huddleston. And a run scores. And that is just not what you want. You overthrow the cutoff man. I think Marmo was going to score anyway on that base hit. But the error will go to, actually there'd be no error. He's just going to go on the throw to the plate. Well, a pinch runner out there. Is that number 1?
That's number 1.
I believe that's Miles Smith, who's the pinch runner for Cole McCallum. So Senators now lead 3-2. Corbin Shaw steps to the plate. 1 for 3. Breaking pitch catches the inside corner. So 3 hits in the inning. 1 off of Cade McKee and 2 now off of Landon Tucker. There's a ground ball to the left. That will hop over Logan Molnar's glove. Jay Sharla has trouble gloving that. That will be another RBI single. Corbin Shaw with his second run-producing base hit of the ball game. Three runs in the inning for Walter State, and that's how they've been doing it all year. If you can keep it to 3, that's what, at this point with 1 out, the problem is they just keep hitting and they'll put a 6 or a 7 spot up there if you're not careful.
Now batting, number 18, Daniel Ortiz.
Ortiz steps to the plate, looking for his first hit of the game. He's 0 for 3. Came in leading the team with a .432 batting average. Second in the conference. He pops that one up. Should be playable. It's Ethan Huddleston moving over. He will make the catch in front of Jace Mizell for out number 2. You can see these guys are starting off thinking the ball is in one place, and then 30 feet later, they're farther over to the right to make the catch.
Now batting, number 22, Cruz Newman.
Cruz Newman, a left-handed hitter, steps in. First pitch he sees from Tucker is called strike. He is 0 for 2 with a walk. 4-2. Walter State has taken the lead here in the top of the 8th inning. Ground ball that will go just past the Senators dugout. Mike Korn, first base coach, is hustling down there by the tarp, and he'll make the play. Count, no ball, 2 strikes. Delayed steal, nobody covering second base. That ball goes into center field. Shaw will get a stolen base and move to third on the errant throw by Braden Vineyard. That's 2 errors in the inning on Braden Vineyard. 3 errors for the ball game for the Pioneers. With 2 outs and a runner at third base, Won't hurt if you get this batter out. Fouled off to the left side. Shaw was not going off the pitch, but once Vineyard had it, the delayed steal was on, but nobody covering second base. There's a swing and a miss, and that stolen base does not come back to bite the Pioneers, but a good inning for Walter State as they have 4 hits. Score 3 runs, 2 errors unofficially according to my book, and 1 runner left on base. We're going to the bottom of the 8th. The Pioneers now down by 2. You're listening to the Vol State Sports Network. We are ready to go for the bottom of the 8th inning. 5, 6, and 7 for the Pioneers. Ethan Huddleston, Carter Vrabel, and Tanner Bumbalow will be relied upon to get some of those runs back and maybe some more. Ethan Huddleston 0 for 3, looking for his first hit of the ball game. Blake Cooper, now in line for a win, is on for his 3rd inning of work. We will keep it here after this inning as we will have the 8th inning tribute to Hayden Schrum, the only number retired by Ball State baseball. Huddleston will take a 4-pitch walk from Blake Cooper. His 2nd walk, Cooper's that is. He walked Logan Molnar to lead off the top of the 7th inning, but able to get a sacrifice bunt for an out and then retired the next 2 batters to leave Molnar stranded at second base. Head coach Dave Shelton out of the Senators dugout to talk strategy. There are some folks in the Walter State bullpen area. We'll just go ahead and do our tribute now. Hayden Schrum was a 2007 Vol State graduate, a right-handed pitcher from Macon County High School. Played for head coach Mike Crosland. And a couple of years after graduating and being at MTSU, he came down with leukemia during the 2009 series, was a big inspiration to the Vol State baseball team, and a year later on May 26, 2010, he passed away. There's an outfield sign in left field that is a tribute to Hayden Schrum. He wore number 8, and Mike Crosland in agreement now with, I believe it was Ryan Hunt who followed Mike Crosland, and now Jim McGuire, who has followed Ryan Hunt, has decided that the number 8 will stay retired. Out there, his motto was no regrets. So thank you to the Schrum family for their continued support of Volunteer State baseball. We'll do that in the 8th inning as we remember to do it in memory of number 8. Shelton done with his meeting on the mound. Carter Vrabel steps to the plate, and he just misses that pitch. Fouls it off to the right side at MGM Industries foul ball. A couple young guys look like they're coming out of the stands behind home plate. Maybe they're going to go look for that foul ball. Tapper just past the pitcher. Torres comes in and makes a nice play. Works almost as a sacrifice bunt. But a 0 for 1 for Carter Vrabel as he grounds out. Torres has made a couple nice plays where he had to charge and throw on the run. Tanner Bumbleow steps in the box. Lefty on lefty matchup. Carter Vrabel must have taken a bite out of that. Did you see the base umpire, Samuel, take a look at that baseball and throw it out? You didn't see that, probably.
No, I didn't see it. I was busy writing in my book and making sure everything was on camera here.
Bumbleow looks at a breaking pitch. Started to cock that knee and take a big hack at that, but holds up. Pitch called a strike. Check swing and a called strike. Time is called. As I think there might be some dirt. That's where the wind and the dirt can also come up into the umpire's eyes, although he's wearing sunglasses. Keep the wind and the dirt out, but he asked for time. Cooper is ready to go. Bumbleow back in there, swings and misses, balls in the dirt. But Martin will throw down to first base to complete the strikeout, 2-3. Bumbleow now 1 for 4 on the day. And it brings it to plate. Braden Vineyard 0 for 2 with a sacrifice fly. Going to take a 2-out base hit. Drive in the third run. Pioneers would like to scratch for at least one here in the 8th inning. Fastball misses up. Count goes 2 balls and no strikes. They're in the bottom of the 7th over at the Nichols softball complex. The Lady Senators are up 6-5, 2 out. So the Pioneers down to their last out with a runner at first base. As I look on the Vol State YouTube channel and see live action across the campus. Not sure if that's Sydney Harris up. I'm broadcasting 2 games at once. Braden Vineyard will look at a 3-0 pitch right down the can. Our cohort in the Vol State Sports Network, Reagan Smith, is handling the production of that video. Swung on and fouled off to the right side. We'll have a full count. Ministries full count. Walters State softball team, I believe, is still undefeated on the year. Last I checked, I think they were 26-0. They might be 30-0 now. Full count pitch. Swing and a miss. Or a swing and a foul tip, as the home plate umpire said. So we do have a full count first pitch foul ball, but a strikeout. Back-to-back strikeouts for Cooper. Now his 3rd strikeout. So the Pioneers, no runs, no hits, no errors, 1 runner left on base. We go to the 9th. Pioneers find themselves down 4-2. You're listening to the Vol State Sports Network. Tim Reese and Samuel Park back for the 9th inning here in a first game of the conference series between Vol State and Walter State. We have a Summit Concrete call to the bullpen as Cade Sanders is on in relief of Landon Tucker. Sanders on for his 9th appearance, all in relief. 1-1 record, 12 2/3 innings, 13 hits, 13 runs, 9 earned, 9 walks, 10 strikeouts, a 6.39 ERA. Sanders, 5'11", 205-pound redshirt sophomore from right here in Hendersonville, Tennessee, Sumner County. Attended Hendersonville High School. And the son of Clay and Tressa Sanders, the brother of Kylie and Witten, and grandson to Nama in Hendersonville and granddad in Centerville. Sanders, 12 appearances a year ago, 3 starts, had 1 save, struck out 26 batters in his 21-plus innings. He will face 7, 8, and 9 in the Senators lineup. Jarrett Martin, Angus Pence, and Cooper Torres.
Now batting, number 21, Jarrett Martin.
Martin 0 for 3. Fastball right at the belly button, but inside for ball 1. Just over 2 hours old here in this 9-inning contest. There's a fastball at the knees, called strike. Quick Cade Sanders. He got the nickname as that ball is tapped down the third base line. Fair ball, says the umpire. I thought that ball had gone foul. Vrabel, I thought he kind of was going at it nonchalantly, thinking it was going to go foul, but maybe he did think it was fair. That was a tough play, though. Infield single for Martin. Another infield single.
Now batting, number 11, Angus Pence.
He will square around a bunt, pull the bat back. Ball 1. So Pence batting for the first time today. He came on for Pedro Pache, who pinch hit for Keaton Ray in the 7th inning. Bunts one foul. Pence, a redshirt freshman transfer from Tennessee. Knoxville Farragut High School. Playing in game number 21. Has 14 hits and 48 official at-bats, 4 doubles, 3 home runs, 14 RBIs, hitting .292. And he is our Jersey Mike's sub of the game. Jersey Mike's a supporter of Volunteer State Baseball, as that ball is bunted foul, now down in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Wonder if Coach Shelton will keep that sacrifice bunt on here with 2 strikes. I'm going to guess no. Looking for a doctored ordered double play, but instead he gets a swing and a miss. A strikeout, first strikeout for Sanders. Now 1 out. Cooper Torres steps to the plate. Second baseman's 1 for 3, singled and scored in the 8th inning. Had that leadoff single in the left field. Pioneers have turned 1 double play for the day. That was in the first inning, the throw over to first base, not in time. Four catchers that have gotten in for Walter State after this pitch. There's a breaking pitch, nice. By Quick Cade. Jarrett Martin, Will Cawthon, Jackson Bryan, who's from right here in Beach High School in Hendersonville. Ball in the dirt, and Martin read that one. He will move down to second base on the wild pitch. He went pretty quick. I'm not sure if that was another one of those delayed steals or not, but without knowing, he definitely wasn't going on the pitch. The fourth catcher, who's injured right now, Carter Olaf, has also been in 7 games for the Senators. The 2 starting catchers from a year ago have left. There's another pitch that gets away from Vineyard. And Martin moves over to third base. I'm going to assume that was a wild pitch. Can't really see if the ball was in the dirt before it got to Vineyard, or Braden just missed that one. I'm assuming it's in the dirt. So an infield single down to the third base line for Jarrett Martin, and a wild pitch to second and a wild pitch to third. That brings the infield in with 1 out. Swinging a tapper that will go foul just past the Pioneers dugout. Wind blowing in now from center field. Hello to Dave Holbrook, and Sherry Burris is sending an email to treesports@gmail.com. Swing and a miss. Sanders gets his second strikeout. Caleb Marmo steps to the plate. He is 3 for 4. The last guy you want to see up if you're the Pioneers.
How about number 7, Caleb Marmo.
And the Rices also watching. Not sure if they're watching from Metropolis, she says. Always glad to have Jace Mizell's grandparents on both sides, the Rices and the Mizels, listening in. That bunt attempt fouled off of Vineyard. He's getting beat up back there. Temperature's gone down 6 degrees. We're at 60. Foul tipped at the plate on the slow breaking pitch. Pioneers need to retire Marmo here and get back in for the bottom of the 9th. They trail 4-2. We're leading all the way from the 3rd inning until the top of the 8th inning. Gave up 3 in the top of the 8th. Infield with 2 outs, obviously playing back now. Wind blowing in from center field. Wind advisory still in effect here for Middle Tennessee. Should have a beautiful day tomorrow. Again, the middle part of the infield starts moving toward the dugout. Chris Judkins, the home plate umpire, says that was a little too far outside. What do you agree with that, Samuel? Or you working on your book, or the?
I'm working
you
on
got
make sure
2 fingers. You
everything's
got 2 hands going over there. Another ball in the dirt. Well, a Full Count Ministries full count. It's like spinning plates over there, being a producer, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Especially when you choose to have a book.
Well, I wouldn't worry about that left hand right now. That right hand's the one that's is the key. Full Count Ministries full count. Breaking pitch called, strike 3. Kate Sanders strikes out the side after giving up a leadoff single. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 runner left on base. Going to the bottom of the 9th, Pioneers need 2 to tie and 3 to win. You're listening to the Vol State Sports Network. Tim Reese and Samuel Park back at Pioneer Field in the Tim Garrett Baseball Complex. Going to the bottom of the ninth inning, we have a pinch hitter for Big J Charlotte, and it is Brody Melton who will come out of the Pioneers dugout. Brody, a true freshman from Tullahoma, Tennessee. He will pinch hit here in the bottom of the ninth. First pitch he sees from Blake Cooper, who is on in relief of Landon Crumley, is ball one. Brody Melton got his first career college home run at Cumberland University on Tuesday, a solo shot, which helped him become the Right Rug Flooring player of the game as he got the game winner. Pioneers did go on to score 4 more runs in that inning and win 7-2 against Cumberland JV in game 2. 3 balls, no strikes. Could Blake Cooper walk the third straight leadoff batter? He gets a called strike. Melton, 6 hits, a double, a triple, and a home run, 3 RBIs.
That looked like it went into the dirt on my
Yep.
end. Looks like it didn't.
Called strike is Full Count Ministries, full count. He fouls that one off. Almost got in there down that right field line, so we'll have a full count first pitch foul ball. I believe that's 2 for 4 on the day. On deck, top of the order, Logan Molnar. 3-2 pitch, another foul ball straight back. Melton, 6'4", 205-pound, true freshman from Tullahoma High School, the son of Sam Melton and Amy Morris, both of Tullahoma. Brother to Lily and Blake, and grandparents Opa and Omi, and Tootsie and Pops. Everybody from Tullahoma. And he will look at a pitch that 98% of the time this year has been called strike. And there it is, the third straight inning with a leadoff walk. Has not come back to bite Blake Cooper yet. And Dave Shelton will come out of the bullpen. He'll have a new pitcher to finish this one out. We'll take a quick break, tell you who the new pitcher is when we return on the Vol State Sports Network. Summit Concrete call to the bullpen for the Senators. Brings out of the pen Carson Bonaparte, 6'1", 210-pound redshirt freshman transfer from Notre Dame from Lincoln, Illinois University High School. He is on relief of Blake Cooper, who is in line for the victory
He came on in relief of Landon Crumbly, and Cooper threw 3 innings, did not give up a hit. The runner on first is his responsibility, as he walked 3 batters, struck out 3 batters. As I said, he is in line for his 3rd win of the year in 4 decisions. Bonaparte on for his 10th appearance of the year. Has a 4-0 record, 17 2/3 innings, 9 hits, 23 strikeouts, 2.55 ERA. So a relied upon right-hander for head coach Dave Shelton, and he will face the top of the order, Logan Molnar, with nobody out and 1 on. And he delivers a fastball in there for a called strike. Pioneers down to their last at-bat, looking for a walk-off winner or at least 2 runs to tie the ball game up here in the bottom of the 9th. Logan Molnar looks at pitch low and away. Jarrett Martin able to backhand that one. Curtis Reed in left, Caleb Marmo in center. Cruz Newman still out in right field. Daniel Ortiz at third, Angus Pence at short, Cooper Torres at second, Corbin Shaw still at first base, and Jarrett Martin catches that ball outside from the right-handed throwing arm of Carson with a K, Bonaparte with an E at the end for class. That's when you know you come from high class right there, when you got an E at the end of your name, but it's not pronounced. I have that at the end of my street name, okay? Point with an E at the end of it. 2 balls, 2 strikes to leadoff batter Logan Molnar. He slaps one foul down first base line. Four runs, 9 hits, 1 error for Walter State, and the breaking pitch gets Molnar swinging. 1 out here in the bottom of the 9th. Jake Burris steps to the plate. He is 0-1 for 3. A single and a run scored in the 3rd, and a sacrifice bunt.
Number 14, Jake Burris.
Come on, Jake. I'm wearing your shirt today, buddy. Grove City versus all y'all. It's a fastball in the outside corner, called strike. Number 14. In the dirt, that catches home plate umpire Chris Judkins after it came through the wickets of Jarrett Martin, and Judkins is down. Dave Shelton out of the dugout for Walter State, and head coach Jim McGuire comes over. This might have caught Judkins in a vulnerable area. All-world trainer Justin McKinney out to get all the details. Judkins going to want to talk to Jarrett Martin when he comes back and say, "Son, I need you to block those for me. I'm wearing protective equipment, but it's you're my main protection," is what he's telling Jarrett Martin. The Lady Pioneers went down in defeat in Game 1 versus the number 4 Lady Senators of Walter State in Game 1 of the doubleheader. They'll start playing game number 2, I would assume 20 to 30 minutes after that first game ended. Looks like Chris Judkins will be able to finish this ball game. Count 1 ball, 1 strike to Jake Burris. Brody Melton on at first base. Swing and a miss.
Burris now down in the count, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Another swing and a miss, and down goes Burris for out number 2. 2 strikeouts by Bonaparte. Pioneers now down to their last out.
Now batting, number 30, Landon Gotze.
Landon Gotze steps to the plate. The last hope for Ball State. Nice breaking pitch. I don't think you want to pull a pitch here anyway, as Curtis Reed, the left fielder, is playing very shallow in left field. Caleb Marma also has come in center field. Cruz Newman playing about regular depth out in right and toward the line. You're looking for a pitcher to get a ball up and away so that you can have a lift off to right field. Landon Gotze definitely has the power to go the opposite way. That was maybe a little bit too high. Count goes 2 balls and a strike. Yeah, the Lady Senators 33-0 coming into today's game, now 34-0. Tap down to third base. That stays down low. Ortiz, strong throw in the dirt. It gets by Shaw into the fence. McGuire is waving the runner. Melton to the plate. Throw is not in time. The Pioneers now within 1 run. Now the question is that a base hit in an error or is that a 2-base error? If you're official scorer, if you're not worried about it. It's just another run. But what do you think? I got a hit on that. Do you? Tyler Holsworth. I'm going to go infield single. An error on Ortiz on the throw. Not an RBI, but Jace Mizell now with an opportunity with a runner at second base to drive in the tying run in Landon Gotze. Tough play for Ortiz. He backhanded. That ball stayed down a little bit low. Ortiz with the throw over to first base pulled Shaw off of the bag, and it also got by Shaw. I think that was Newman maybe that came in from right field to get the ball and throw it back in. 4-3 now, the lead down to 1. Mizell looking at 3 balls and no strikes. Ethan Huddleston on deck. Mizell is the potential winning run, and he is given the ball 4. That's the second time I believe he's been given ball 4. So the first walk for Carson Bonaparte will bring Ethan Huddleston to the plate with runners at first and second. Potential to win the ball game right here with a ball in a gap. There's a fastball in there for a called strike. Ethan, the son of Shannon Zettel, brother to Noah, and stepson of Dan Zettel. Breaking pitch, called strike. Huddleston finds himself down 0-2. Huddleston been scuffling, and now's a good time. He holds up on that high fastball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. He walked to lead off the 8th inning, but was stranded at second base. Bonaparte working quickly. There's a ground ball to second. This should be the ball game. Torres up and over to Shaw at first base to retire Huddleston. And the Senators take game 1 of the series 4-3, just like that put out there, as the game ended on a 4-3 put out. Pioneers 1 run, 1 hit. There was 1 error and 1 runner left on base. The Pioneers fall to 18-14 overall and 6-7 in conference play. Senators move to 32-4 overall and 11-2 in conference play. Doubleheader will be back here tomorrow starting at noon, 2 7-inning contests. The right rug flooring player of the game for the Pioneers has got to be Cade McKee, Country Cade McKee, who went 7+ innings, gave up 5 hits, 2 runs. I believe they were earned. Did walk 1, but struck out 7 batters. And a fantastic performance by Cade McKee here against the #1 team in the conference. Unofficial line is 4 runs, 9 hits. There was no 2 errors for the Senators. And 3 runs, 7 hits. And I've got 3 errors for the Pioneers. Winning pitcher will be Blake Cooper. I believe he will go to 3-1. And the losing pitcher will be Landon Tucker, and Landon Tucker will go to 0-2. A save to Carson Bonaparte. See if he's got a save this year. He does not. That will be his first save of the year. Bonaparte comes on to save it for Cooper. In a game that took 2 hours and 26 minutes. A very windy condition, Samuel, for play today. I never liked playing in the wind at all.
No.
But these guys worked through it. Not a lot of dancing bears out there on fly balls is what I would call it when you're not really sure where that ball's going to land. But honestly, it was pretty predictable. And it started in one place. It was going to end up 30 feet at least to the right as we look at it, to the left as you're a player. But any thoughts on your end at all as we will get to our Full Count Ministries verse of the game right after any thoughts you have.
Just from looking at the game, just kind of looked like mainly in the top of the 8th, just kind of everything kind of got away from the Pioneers pretty quickly. I think that's where the most errors occurred in fielding for the Pioneers was in the top of the 8th, and just kind of came back to bite them. Had a chance in the 9th, but didn't happen.
Just couldn't pull it out. The Senators a good ball club, no question, and they do win those tight, close games. Pioneers had the lead all the way from the 3rd inning, zeros on the board for both clubs in the 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Pioneers had that 2-1 lead until giving up 3 in the top of the 8th. Did score 1 in the bottom of the 9th to make it close, but the Senators pull it out. Eli Klapfelter, I would assume, will go game 1 tomorrow, and Parker White will go game 2 for Vol State. Let's see who typically throws. Looks like Jackson Hall and Braden Matthews, or possibly Landon Slimp for Walter State. We should get on the air about 10 minutes to noon tomorrow with the Toyota of Gallatin starting lineups. We'll have the Full Count Ministries verse of the game. We'll go from Psalm 100. It's only 5 verses. Shout for joy to the Lord, all the earth. Worship the Lord with gladness. Come before him with joyful songs. Know that the Lord is God. It is he who made us, and we are his. We are his people, the sheep of his pasture. Enter his gates with thanksgiving and his courts with praise. Give thanks to him and praise his name. Verse 5, as we finish Psalm 100, says, For the Lord is good and his love endures forever. His faithfulness continues through all generations. It's a good word if you're looking for the Lord's goodness in Psalm 100, thanks to Full Count Ministries and the use of their broadcast equipment as we run 2 cameras here and switching back and forth, thanks to Samuel Park, who was able to stay with us today and run the computer, the scoreboard, the camera switcher. And Samuel, you're welcome back anytime. We've got a home game on Tuesday. You typically aren't available, I know, on Tuesdays or during the week. But the next weekend home game is against Jackson State in the middle of April, the week after Easter. The Pioneers go to Southwest Tennessee next week, scheduled for Friday and Saturday. The Lady Pioneers will be scheduled to play Thursday and Friday, and I'll go down there and try to broadcast the first doubleheader for the Lady Pioneers, and then stick around for the baseball on Friday and Saturday. But thanks again for coming. I'm going to see if I can get over to the softball, maybe get that doubleheader game 2 broadcasted if I can get over there quick enough. So for Athletic Director Bobby Hudson and Head Coach Jim McGuire, this is Tim Reese, also for Samuel Park, saying so long for now. God bless you. We'll talk to you tomorrow at a little bit before noon. You've been listening to the